in studio. We're joined by Lisa Ruth, former CIA analyst, now with Lignet. And via telephone, Wally Zines, a former detective with the New York PD, is joining us via that route. Thanks to you both. Lisa, let me get to ISIS in just a minute, but we really need to talk about what transpired in Washington over the weekend. We heard Peter King really lay out a number of nightmarish scenarios. What do you expect to be the implications or the consequences of these intruders of the White House?
What I hope the consequences are is an increased security vigilance. Apologize. Again, though, at the point when you have to solve a crime or stop a crime, we're already behind. We have to set up situations to stop it before it happens. And it is distressing to me. After 9/11, there were things that were not put in place. There were recommendations that were made, not just at the White House, but throughout the country that weren't happening. And I think this is just a really strong indication of areas that we need to step up. We have to take security at home much more seriously.
And not only security at home in terms of Washington, D.C., but on any street in any town, USA. What do you make of the new ISIS pronouncement asking its adherents to attack anybody who's from a coalition nation? They talk about despicable Frenchmen in view of the airstrikes, always the Americans, the Australians. How real is the threat of ISIS in the United States?
One of the issues with ISIS, this doesn't surprise me at all, frankly, because look at the beheadings. The people they beheaded are not combatants. They're not soldiers. These are journalists, aid workers. ISIS has made it very clear they're going to go after whoever they want. Now, in terms of the threat here in the United States, people point to the fact that there has not been a terrorist attack yet and say, so we don't have to worry. I think that is incredibly naive. It is, frankly, far easier to carry out a terrorist attack, even a limited one, than it is to take territory in Iraq. I think it is a real danger. I think it is still a real danger, and we need much better intelligence as well as much better security in order to thwart it.
There has been some chatter again about Times Square in New York. What have you heard about that?
There has been. There are certain areas that are automatic targets. You've got the federal government in a very small area. That's a real easy target. But Times Square is certainly another one. And when you look at targets, when I was with the government, we got threats probably daily. The question is assessing the threats and how real they are. And Times Square is always on that list. The reason is there's a lot of people in a very small area, and if you want to make a really big splash, that's a place to go.
Well, we mentioned Times Square, and that's why it's altogether appropriate to call in Wally Zines again, literally call him in as he's joining us on the phone. Wally, the whole notion of attacking Times Square and the attraction of New York in general, a lot of talk in the intelligence community that these people want to go back to previously utilized targets. What are you hearing about what steps are being taken in New York to prevent any type of trouble at Times Square?
Well, there are many steps that are being taken. Of course, we have the Ringus deal, that is cameras on a 360-degree of Times Square and other parts of New York City. Just as much, we have over 400 counterterrorism uniform cops that are strictly there in counterterrorism as an omnipresence. Plus, there's numerous undercover operations that are taking place that we can't talk about. Also, city, state, and federal, and the National Guard now, the National Guard was brought in this weekend now, are going to be at strategic locations there. But let's keep in mind, New York City is the #1 target for ISIS, as they've said. And they, in their last message, it said, look for targets in the U.S. Terrorists have 3 common denominators that they work with, and that is money, manpower, and media. They use all 3. For an example, during the Munich Olympics, during the World Trade Center, they were able to raise a lot of money because of that, because they had all the media there to broadcast the theater of terror. Times Square is like a theater of terror, so it's a real hot spot. And that's something that's very, very important. And we have to share intelligence, and we have to work together, not just with law enforcement or city, state, or federal, but everyone, all of us as a package, see something, say something, which brings us into other areas that you wanted to talk about issuing ID cards for illegal aliens.
Then that's exactly my point, Wally. Not only ID cards for illegal aliens, but apparently Mayor de Blasio is going to give them free tickets to the Bronx Zoo and to Carnegie Hall and all.
Well, here's the common denominator.
Okay.
Here's the common denominator, and Lisa hit this on the nail a little while ago. The common denominator is taking 33 locations that they'll be able to go to free, city cultural institutions. And as you said, from Lincoln Center to Carnegie Hall to all the museums to all the zoos to the aquariums. And what's the common factor there? The common factor there is mass amounts of people. And, you know, ISIS has about 100 wolves running around possibly in the United States, and for them to get one of these cards without any background checks, and he admits that they're not going to have any background checks except bring in a utility bill, show me that you're living somewhere, and we're going to take a picture. So you can't give ID cards to people whose names and history you can't ID or verify. So, you know, someone walks in and says, my name's John Smith, but it really isn't. He's really a terrorist somewhere, and he's going to have access to getting into some of the most vulnerable places to get the best bang for the buck, no pun intended, but we're going to have mass casualties. Simultaneously, they can do this to go into cultural locations at the same time throughout the 5 boroughs. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's worse than ridiculous, Wally. From my perspective, it is stupidly dangerous. Lisa, you hear this, and Wally adds the wrinkle that this may empower people who have terror acts on their mind to utilize the mayor's invitation. Your assessment of this?
Well, again, take it a step further, though. We know that there are Americans fighting with ISIS. So you could have a driver's license, you could have all these things and be a foreign terrorist. You know, we know that Americans are fighting over there. Now, if you don't have the ability, and this goes back to the intelligence, and I know I start to sound like a broken record here, but if you do not have really strong intelligence to identify these people, you're opening up a vulnerability with really serious consequences.
Well, and we saw the article from the New York Times about these perks being offered by the mayor. Wally, I've got to ask you, as an ex-NYPD detective, Mayor de Blasio's approach to law enforcement in general, do you expect him to dismantle the considerable anti-terror force that has been assembled under the umbrella of the NYPD?
I tell you, if that happens, he's suicidal, because I'll tell you something, there's a big, big problem here. We need to have as much intelligence as we can get. Our success is based on intelligence, going out there to prove or disprove. Just remember, if you get a call and someone says that person has a gun, you're going to go with the premise that that person has a gun until you can prove differently. Also, you're going to work with your intelligence. Your intelligence is the foundation of a successful outcome. You need it. But for him to offer this, and you know, all good and well. You know, the dinosaurs would be here today if they're able to deal with change. And you got to understand that we now are in a different climate of change, and we can't just give out ID cards to people without having the proper backgrounds done. And proper backgrounds, besides fingerprinting and pictures, takes time. And time is very important to us, especially with terroristic communications coming every day in social media telling us, beware, Big Brother's coming.
And speaking of time, we're about to run out of it. Lisa, 20 seconds to you. Continued reports about illegals crossing the border and not our Mexican neighbors.
Correct. We're still hearing this. And again, you're talking about an open border. It's not surprising at all that you've got other than Central Americans or anyone else coming through. We've had this problem before. We know Hezbollah has come through. Hamas, just not surprising.
It is a dangerous situation. Wally Zines, we say thanks to you. Lisa Ruth, we're going to ask you to stay here, and don't you go anywhere. When we come back, a discussion of religious persecution. Stay tuned.